Muy bien, para la próxima presentación, nuestra próxima ponente es una persona que forma parte de la comunidad Mindsonar de mucho antes que todos nosotros. Ha estado ahí desde el inicio junto con el creador de la herramienta Mindsonar y es experta en PNL. También trabaja en el Instituto de Psicología Ecléctica de Holanda, que es el instituto que tanto el doctor Jaap Hollander como nuestro invitado para presentar esta ponencia presentará el día de hoy. Ella es Anek, y Anek desde la primera vez que tuvimos la oportunidad de interactuar, siempre transmite como una paz. Es una persona con la cual, en mi caso en particular, hablando desde mi persona, a veces llego con mi proactivo y mi corazón latiendo a 120 por segundo y voy y me muevo y por alguna razón es como que, ok. Ok, y luego ya sigo. Ya después me vuelvo a afectar, pero es como que una pausa, hay una palabra o una frase, o me hace un comentario y digo, y me quedo pensando. Y entonces tiene una personalidad muy especial y aparte mucha experiencia, y el día de hoy nos va a compartir un patrón, un modelo que yo estoy seguro que todos podemos utilizar. Va a ser un ejercicio. Ella nos va a decir cómo acomodarnos, lo hacemos con cuidado porque va a haber mucho movimiento en el salón, pero antes quiero, por supuesto, presentar oficialmente y dar la bienvenida a nuestro siguiente ponente, Anek.
Well, thank you, Jaime, for inviting me. Even I'm not Anneke who wrote a book, to make clear to somebody. I'm another Anneke. I'm less experienced in Mindsonar. However, I'm still allowed to talk here, and I hope I have something, and I think I have something you like. First thing, I would invite you to take your chairs and put them like in a big round around me. Because I come from Holland, and I don't remember, but somebody mentioned models of the world are different, and our country is very small. 4 hours north to south, 3 hours left to right. So make it so everybody can, because I like to see you. And I know you're probably not a little bit slower because you get a translation. And can I have the next? Okay, this is a bouquet of flowers. The colors are brighter, but since you're creative people and you're all South Americans who love colors, I think you can see many colors in here, orange and yellow. And we at the Institute always have a bouquet of flowers standing in the room, and it symbolizes that the group who is starting is made of, as Bianca already said, unique people. Everybody has a unique form, unique color, sometimes a little bit similar than another one, like in the bouquet. And it's symbolizing how if you put them together, the different forms, the different colors, how they kind of empower each other. How one color looks brighter next to another color. Okay, picture's already starting to, like the orange next to the blue gets more orange. And that's a wish for groups to empower each other. And I thought, well, I couldn't see any florist shop here, but I thought you all bringing the gifts, that's something similar, it's all these different gifts. That's gives a very welcome feeling. And you can use one in the other. When you're reading, you can use the one to find where you've left the book. So they empower each other. So that's why, instead of the flowers, I have all your gifts here as a thank you. The next one can be on. I miss my And we thank you, and we have resources, That's what happens once they are there. So different forms, and they give unity. The next one, please. So, my experience is that when we are clear of what we want, it's easy to communicate with people. We can give feedback. Sometimes, people are so different and people don't come with manuals. And even if we have Mindsonar, we think it's like we can read the person now a little bit better. However, in some other contexts, it's just a little bit different. So I think one of the main important things in a changing world where things change so fast is the capability to give feedback. Well, you all being coaches, I think you probably have learned and are teaching to people how to give feedback. That's one of the things I do in my coachings for business people the first. However, often they say, oh yes, I learned it at the course. Oh, the whole group learned it. And I ask them, well, do you use it? No. Do you remember it? Parts. And I think it's one of the most important things I hope they're going to teach in schools. And one of the feedback systems I like to use and have been using for a long time, is the next one please, is the one I learned last century. Can I have the next? And that is, a feedback from person to person. It's different when you are a trainer, but if it's something personal for you, it is very simple. Give feedback on what they do, what you can see and hear, behavior, and then tell them what I feel, what I think, and ask them, request them for an alternative behavior. Calibrate and ask them, am I clear? And are you willing to do that? Sometimes they say yes. And sometimes they say no, because when I do that, I feel and I think, and a negotiation starts. So is this a model you know? I think feedback can be done in so many different ways. So if we give feedback and we are willing to cooperate, it's working well. And if we are too different, it's handy that you know how to negotiate. So that's one something I presuppose you to have as a capability too before I start the inside-out model. So can I have the next slide, please? Oh, that's the structure of experience. Well, partly NLP, partly EAP. We can do the next one. Can I have the next one, please? Yes. So the negotiation for if you have an inner conflict, the one I like to use is maybe if you all use your hands and express how an inner conflict in yourself feels for you. Does it feel like this? Does it feel like this? Does it feel like one part presses the other? How would you express it? Does it the holding each other tight? There are many different ways to feel conflict in your hands. And then when there is conflict, the first thing is take them apart, far enough apart that they can breathe, can be each who they are, as you know, and then ask one side, well, by this behavior, what's your positive intention? What's important? What's your value? The other one. And what's this side, your positive intention? And if they still stay like this, you ask, okay, and what's behind that intention? And what's behind that intention? You go high enough until they kind of go like this. Oh, we are open. I like your intention. I like your value. I'm open to respect this. And if it's really going like this, you're almost ready because you can go like, okay, if you're going to respect both intentions, let's look how to translate that to a behavior. However, sometimes it is a little bit more difficult, and it's okay, I'm willing to work, however, we have to negotiate. I would like you to change some behavior, because that's necessary for me. Well then, I would like you to change some behavior, and I like you to use that resource of you to help me, and I like you to have that resource to help me, and after that exchange, it's easier to find ways that accommodate, that pleases both of your parts, both of the people in the team. Well, I think, I was raised Catholic, so once I kind of had this, I said, is that the meaning of what they did in front of church all the time? I don't know. But it's an easy way to remember, and it's nice if you do it, people already know it. So I think it's, a win-win. I heard many people speak about win-win, and so it's not too different from your model, I think. Or is it? I think you know these steps. So this feedback I think, you're ready for a changing world. You can give feedback, you can negotiate, to work together, to live together. So no problem. Can I have the next one, please? I don't remember which one is the next one. Oh, yeah. So, so it looks like you are ready for the world. Well, you are. But my experience is, although you know these capabilities, you still can get out of balance, and you still can get irritated. Well, maybe not here. I know you're such a positive South Americans. Do you ever get irritated, or, yeah? By behaviors of others, eh? People can do things, yes. So, that happened to me. That happened to me. I would be coaching the whole day. I would be coming home and open the door, hang up my coat, open the next door. It's cold. We have 2 doors. Get in the hallway and then trip over a backpack of my son when he was a lot younger. And then, I don't know, after coaching the whole day, teaching people to be in a good state, I would go, Florian! Okay, I didn't do that every day. He almost did leave it there every day. But I mean, I knew how to give feedback, and I know this didn't work, but it was there. And one day I had been writing, and writing doesn't come so natural to me, so I had been writing an article, and I said, well, when it's finished, I'm going to treat myself. And since I was, living healthy, it wouldn't be the chocolates I really love, but it would be this new piece, this fruit I had never seen before, and it was almost $2 for one piece. This was in our poorer period, so it would be a real treat. So I went to the greengrocer after finishing, and there was the fruit, and now it costed twice as much, $4. Well, I was in a store, so that was on the inside, and I kind of closed off. And the guy, I found a very nice guy. It was going in my head, how they, there's a limit to things. It's going to be a ridiculous world if we keep, selling one fruit for $4. Why, what? So I kept it to myself. I didn't buy the fruit, just groceries for the night. And I thought, well, this is ridiculous. Why do I get so, of course I push it away, don't get bored, do something else. But it lingered. So when I had to do for my trainer's training, when I had to study emotion, I said, I know, I'm very good at getting irritated, and I couldn't find a model when I looked it up. So let's study that. Why am I getting so irritated one moment I come home, and why not the other? What's before? How do I? And irritated is, well, what is irritated for you? But can I have the back? This is the, yeah. So what is irritated for you? So we don't have a, but there's somebody can translate, I think. Do we have a?
¿Qué significa para ustedes estar irritado?
It's uncomfortable, but how does it feel in your body?
¿Cómo se siente en su cuerpo?
Because it's like uncomfortable, it's like tense. Tense, yeah. And where in your body do you feel the tenseness? Cold? Oh yeah, it's cold. It's like, okay, yeah. Because I notice it's something like closing off too, you know? So it's like, yeah, you're cold, it's uncomfortable. And how is it going on in your head? Many ideas at the same time. Oh yeah, I recognize that too. It's, yeah, it's,
Like tired?
a stomach ache, yeah, that you said, like it's, and like irritation is a certain kind of, you know, we have many feelings we feel in our stomach, but it's this, it's like this pulling back. If it was a color, what color would you? Red? Yeah. Who has a different color than red? Black. You okay? That's okay. Yeah. Okay.
The
so
new black.
That's, but purple. Oh, that's okay. So you know it's different, but together with this, it's and then you have different purples, you know, and then. Well, maybe you have different blacks too, you know, but you recognize the feeling, and it has something like, if you go for the energy, where does it go? Does it go down, or does it go outside? Does it go up?
The face.
Out, up, here, up, yeah, here. Here, okay, yeah. So there's a lot of energy, and I noticed it's depending. Like at home, it would go out, because it's my son. He still loves me, so. But you know, in the greengrocers, it would go. You know, we get very tense here and get all the voices inside. How can the guy do that? So it's. Yeah, an irritation, and recognizing that wasn't that hard, but what specific triggered it? I know it was in the first time, it was the bag, but the bag was there other days. Why did I get so irritated at that moment? And why did I get irritated instead of just giving feedback and saying, Florian, please come here? You know? When your bag is here and I walk in, I almost trip. That feels very unwelcoming. I like you to, yeah, put it on the stairs. No problem. But why did I? So I noticed, well, it's because of the state I am in. And I noticed that most people get irritated when they are confronted with the behavior of another, and it kind of brings them into contact with a theme or conflicting values they are not clear about themselves. So they are not, so that's the lot of, I don't know, am I gonna pay this for the greengrocer or am I not going to pay it? I was going to treat myself, but it's ridiculous to pay that much. So usually, the irritation starts when something on the inside is not very clear. And you kind of say, well, stupid person, if you wouldn't have raised the price up, I wouldn't have a problem. So it's the person. You see little kids doing that, you know, when they walk by a chair, they almost trip over a chair, stupid chair. And I thought maybe it was a special kind of people that did that, but research shows that that's good for our survival to get our attention to the outside first. So, okay, so that's going to happen. So the only thing is, how do you react afterwards? Because going like stupid chair doesn't help. So then they say, can I have the next one, please? Oh yeah, then they have good advice. You know what you do? Good advice often comes from the East. So the Zen people say, before criticizing another, walk 2 miles in his or her shoes. It's a very good advice. Second position for the NLP. However, when you're irritated, I'm not going to walk in those shoes, sweaty shoes of that person. You're not, I mean, it's very hard. You might get a reaction an American gave when they said, walk 2 miles in the shoes of another. That's a good advice, because when I have their shoes and I criticize them, I can run away a lot faster than them. That was not what they meant, but it was to me clear is how we often are, that when we're irritated, it's a good advice, go breathing. However, the energy is, it's on the outside, and we can't do that right away. So a good next step is to direct the attention on the inside, on yourself. Because for you there is something that you're not clear about yet. However, since you are irritated, it's very important that you don't say right away, how am I? No, first you have to pace the irritation. And that is maybe, I think how to do that is easy. It's like bonding with the person, but I like to demonstrate it. So first I would like you to think all of a moment, a person, a behavior that you got really irritated. That you say, well, it's not one time, it's regular. Same person, or when people do this kind of behavior, then I get irritated. So can you think of a moment like that? That you say, oh, it would be nice to get rid of it too, but now you think of it. Okay, and is there someone who is willing to be a demonstration so I can talk about the irritation and change this? Is someone willing to come up front? Yes, thank you. So, I wonder, is this size better, or do you like it better on this side? You don't mind?
Whichever is more comfortable for you.
Oh, and you don't feel a difference?
This better.
That's better, yeah. Usually we have a side that's better.
Yeah,
So I
this is
think it's just, you have time. Sometimes we walk spontaneously to that side. Sometimes we just take the shortest route. So I always like to check out. Okay. Yes, this one is for me better too. So that's. So you are irritated. So when you're going like this, how can you be irritated? I'll hold it for you. So when you are irritated.
When I'm irritated and
So-
I don't have something to...
So could you tell me what is behavior of a person that really irritates you?
me. My oldest daughter,
Your oldest daughter.
she likes to eat watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
And it's upstairs in our home, but she eats and then she leaves all the plates and all the cushions on the floor, and I walk in from work and everything
These things
is on the
all
floor.
over. Oh yeah, and then it's
I
it's
wanna
like,
go like this.
yeah. So you want to go like that, but you didn't so far.
Not
But
yet.
no. Okay, good. So, but that's
She's
very
still
irritating.
alive.
She's still alive, yes. But that's, you worked all day, you come home, and then everything is around, and then all these dishes and how many they use in dishes, and it's amazing instead of one. Yeah, I can imagine. So that is very interesting, irritating, and you get like that. So, well, we're going to go on, But before we go on, I would like them to interview each other about irritations.
Okay.
Yes? Are you okay to wait a little?
Yes.
To hold on to this irritation
I'm
a
gonna
little?
hold on.
Okay. Enjoy it for a little time. And then, are you willing to do the next step too?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So turn to your neighbor and interview each other, but it is like on the irritation. So your point is, it was very easy with her, but you focus on the behavior. And you validate the irritation of the behavior. So you pace the behavior. You don't say, walk in the shoes. No, you say, oh, yes. Now it's like bonding. It's, of course, you're very irritated. So you're bonding. So get the behavior. The behavior was here very clear, coming home and daughter eating. Sometimes it's less clear. You have to ask some more questions. So what specifically, well, those persons who, well, what do they do that irritates you? Sometimes you have to ask some more specific questions. Yes? So please do it with the person next to you. Okay, and take turns if you... You both sides. Okay. Okay. Can you can imagine that they get irritated? I can see this, the specific behaviors that go with irritations. Ooh. Yeah. So there's a lot of energy there. Okay. I like people having their thing going off. No, I think that's always a nice signal to remember everybody, to remind everybody. Okay. Your Dutch guys are ready too? Good. Okay. So now we know what is, and you felt accepted, that the other really understood why you got irritated, because that's the first step. Yes, he knows why I get irritated. Okay. Then we can go on for the next step. May I invite you, Debbie? So we have this picture your daughter again, and then the whole mess you find, this leaving everything there, the behavior that she doesn't pick up anything, she just leaves this there,
And she goes to her room.
and then she goes away and leaves it. She just enjoys eating, leaves it, goes to her room, and that behavior of just enjoying eating and leaving everything and going to the next thing, that behavior, I'll ask you to go inside yourself, your attention inside your, and wonder, when do I have the tendency to do the same? When do I have the tendency to do the same, to make a mess by eating and leaving it?
Maybe I would want to do the same, but I can't
Do
the same.
Aha. So when is that
Yes.
you would want to do the same?
When I'm tired after work
Work.
and we have to have dinner
Uh-huh.
and serve, and then we have to put everything
Everything
away.
Uh-huh.
And I wish I could be like her and just
Leave it.
go.
Just go, leave it. Yes. She said, because when you're tired, you would like to leave it, because what does it bring to you then? In some moments, you would like to do it then, because what would it bring to you if you were able to leave it just like that, like your daughter can do so well?
What would it bring
To me, yeah, if you were
Oh.
able. So he said, in a moment like that, I kind of want to do it because it would bring me
It would bring me, like freedom.
freedom.
Yes.
Yes, oh, yeah, you enjoy that. Huh?
Yes.
I can see it. That would bring me freedom. It
Yes.
would be very freeing.
Free to just leave
Leave,
the dishes
just-
and go watch TV just like everybody else.
Okay, so for you it's like, okay, to be able to leave it can have, positive effect of feeling freedom, feeling free. However, you would want to do it, but you don't do it because
Because I'm the adult in the house, I have to pick up. Otherwise, it would be you have to leave clean.
so you have one part who would love to go for this freedom, but you have this other part
Who needs to leave clean?
who needs to be clean, yeah?
And yes, have a nice home and everything put away.
Away.
And
Okay, so here you see there are two parts, So if you would just have the part like, oh, I like to do that too because it gives me freedom, you would do the same. But and if you just had a part, needs to be clean, you would clean up, and you would raise your daughter to clean up. Would not be possible. But since you have this, this gives freedom, to be able to do that. This gives, what does that give you? Slavery. So that's slavery.
it gives
So
some
the
sort
clean-
of like a responsibility,
Ability.
like some sort of constraint,
Clean.
let's say.
It's a constraint, so that's the negative part. So, but let's invite the part that makes you good at cleaning up and not leaving.
It's pleasurable to see
And-
your house clean.
You say, okay, so that's going for that part. Knows you find it pleasurable to have your house clean, because what does a clean house bring to you?
Satisfaction or
Satisfaction. And what kind of satisfaction?
it's beautiful, in a way. It makes me feel good that I'm responsible, that I can keep my home nice.
Makes you feel good that you feel responsible. Okay. And when you're successful in being responsible, this part that's so good in having you clean, what does it want for you by having you being responsible and keeping the house clean?
to have maybe be a good, I don't know.
No. Well, you don't, just ask inside. So maybe go inside and say I have this part for freedom, that's very clear, but this part wants the house to be clean, I can be responsible, and ask the question inside, you don't know, and wonder what answer comes up. Why is having the place clean, being responsible, so important for that part of me? That is because it leads to...
Well, it gives me pleasure also to see a beautiful, clean house.
A beautiful clean house. Okay.
Hold it so that they can hear me.
Well, I didn't want her to hold it, but a wonderful clean
I won't hit
house.
you with it, I promise. I won't hit you with it.
Okay, well, hold it in your other hand, so we have a difference. So this part, maybe we play with that. So this part wants you to have the pleasure of a clean house.
Yes.
Because a clean house gives you pleasure.
Gives me pleasure, makes me feel good.
And good in a special way.
Yes. I like to look at it and say, yes, nice.
Yes, nice.
Now, of course, you have to put the food away so that it doesn't spoil, because otherwise you have to throw it away if you leave it outside.
Okay, so it's
Also,
pleasure, but it's also something about not spoiling food.
Yeah.
So what does that bring to you? That you take care of, you don't want to waste it, because what's important to you? Why do you want to take care? What's important for you? Did you say, I take care, put the food away because I don't want it to waste?
I don't want to waste it.
Because?
It's good food. You can still eat it the next day. Otherwise, you throw it away. You're wasting not just for your family, but you think about all the people who don't get food every day, and you're throwing perfectly good food only because you were lazy to put it in the fridge.
So putting it away gives you
a sense of doing good.
Doing good
Yes.
to the world. Like it's like doing good for the environment.
Teaching your kids
okay.
as well that you need to use your resources.
So
take care of your resources.
So would that be your conflict? That you say, well, I'm very much in favor of the pleasure of a good house and doing good for the environment and cleaning up. But on the other side, I have this part that wants freedom.
To just watch TV. To just watch TV.
The freedom to just watch
to
TV.
Just rest, yes?
To just rest, because what would resting give to you? What would that part give to you? If it said the freedom to go and rest, and that would
bring down my day to be able to talk to the children or to my husband.
And when you bring, if you say, if I could just take the rest so I can talk to others, what would that bring to you?
Also pleasure.
Also pleasure.
Yeah.
And it's the pleasure of connecting.
Of connecting, of recharging maybe.
Recharging, okay. So here we have two parts, and both of them want pleasure for Devi. Okay. So, do you like them both?
Yes.
Yes. Is that congruent? Or?
I can live without the freedom.
You can live without freedom. Yeah, you've done that a lot of time. Yeah.
I think it's more important to put away and to not waste, and to show your children that there's that you should live in a certain manner that will give you.
I don't believe you.
You don't?
I don't believe that you are more in favor. Because if you really believe that...
I wouldn't get upset.
Right. Then you would say, daughter, please come back.
She's not learning to do that.
But then you are upset about...
She's not learning to put things away, and she's just enjoying the freedom.
And why does that upset you that she's not learning?
Because she's going to one day grow up and have her own family or live with other people, and she should be able to behave in a way that will be comfortable to other people.
To other people,
as well. Yes.
And give up her freedom. especially
Yes.
being a woman, give up your freedom to
No.
enjoy the pleasure, to talk with your husband and kids. No, you just stay in the kitchen and clean the
No.
kitchen. Oh, that's what you're saying, aren't you?
Well, yes. But I don't believe that. I only have daughters, that's true. Oh my God.
So
I just had a wow moment.
well, that's the moment that I say, obviously you choose for this side because you said I want to, but I get irritated. I don't find a way yet to be clear and give clear feedback to my daughter about it in a way that she picks it up. Because in myself, this is important too. We're
Yes.
not talking about those stuff, but it's feeling rested and to have conversations with the family, and that gives you pleasure. And this gives you pleasure by a clean house. And you
Yes.
say, yeah,
Yeah.
both are, or do you want to say, I just go for the pleasure? Or would you like to go for both? Pleasure of feeling rested and talking with others and
Well, I would
cleaning
like to
the
go
house.
for both.
You like to go for both? Okay. Why don't we find out how you can go for both?
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Now?
Well, that's how many more minutes?
Or we
15. Oh.
have other things?
So but I think this is the thing, we do this. So talk with the two parts, negotiate, and find a way, but accepting them both. And once you have, okay, both pleasures, I say yes to that. What would this one part be? What would the negotiation be? Okay, I can take time. However, there is a negotiation going on. As long as you stick to both and after that, and then the next step is look at your daughter's behavior and what do you find your reaction will be. We can do that piece, even although we didn't finish the negotiation bit yet, because I want to give them a try. So if you think now of your daughter's behavior, what comes up? You come home after being away, the couch filled with food,
Well,
cups,
I
plates.
think that we can probably, which I have done to a certain degree, is when she's told me many times, but I will take it down later. But I want it to be now. So just to be a little more patient with that later and say, okay, later when? And
Okay,
it's
that's,
worked somewhat.
Okay, work somewhat. You see, there is somewhat negotiation to be done because,
So she can tell
about
me, I'll finish watching this TV
TV
show,
show.
and then I will take it down,
Down.
and I can live with that.
that.
As long as she keeps her word. Yes.
Yes, okay, so that's already a different reaction. But I think the negotiation within yourself, how can I be true to both parts of myself, will probably give a little bit more creativity and ideas of how to combine them both. And then you can give even better feedback to your daughter
Yes.
and how to deal with you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I leave it here for now. Thank you.
Aquí por ahora,
So, since you're all very
como
irritated
ya
still,
todos están muy
I would
irritados todavía,
and give you some time
so give you some,
talk with
les
your
voy a dar un
partner.
poco de
Maybe you
tiempo.
have already kind of done a little bit the same while I was asking her. So, but just do the first part. Go inside and said, get in touch with the part of me that kind of wants to do the same. Maybe it wants to do. And what is the positive intention of that? Now that's, I think, how far we have time now. But can you do that part? So you end with kind of welcoming the part that you kind of have been, I shouldn't be doing. Welcoming it home, like this is a part of you. It has a good intention. And it needs some negotiation. But as long as you know the intention, it has a different feeling to it. So could you do that together? So, did getting in touch with the positive intention bring a change? And it might need to exchange some more, but at least getting in touch with the positive intention makes you milder. So, oh. Okay. Okay. Please, you can continue during lunchtime and the afternoon. But I have a few minutes left. So, of course, it's very... so the main... it is in English. Somebody can translate it for you, the steps. So the main thing is to connect with the part of you that has a tendency to do the same, find a positive intention, and find out, and I don't do it because there is another part. Can I solve this conflict? Sometimes only this part is enough. And once I solve that, then I don't get irritated by that anymore. I just know how to give feedback and give people instructions when you are with me in the house. And I noticed the same with you. For me, it was a conflict about, and it's actually a meta-program. A meta-program, because there are more meta-programs than in the Mindsonar. And it's sorting by other or sorting by self. It's like if you sort too much for the others or for the house, and you forget yourself, it's out of balance. So that's what happened to me after coaching or after writing. It was all others too little for myself. And then when somebody was taking very good care of himself, like just, I've been to school all day and now it's free time, I got irritated because I wanted that actually too. So it learned me that, oh, I better take some more time for myself. And it improved my coaching. It improved my coaching to do during the work, to take some more time for myself in between, so the balance is better. But it can be other conflicts, but this is one that happens often for women especially. So can I have the next one, slide, please? Yes. So in a short, you can say irritation is actually, if you get irritated by the behavior of another person, it's a signal that lets you know that something is unclear within yourself. You have a wish, you have a limit that's not respected, you don't know how to balance two criteria. So the best thing is, if you get irritated, don't go to the other, blame it. Take time for yourself to find out what's my inner unclearness or conflict. Can I have the next one, please? We have Dutch sayings, so it's a very old habit. And one is, the pot blames the kettle that she looks black. This is by the time the pot was on the fire. You know, the pot calling the kettle black. Do you have a saying like that in South America? So that's this pattern actually. You know, he said, why do you look so black, you know? I'm black too, but I forget that. There's another Dutch saying, she sees the splinter of wood in another person's eyes. What? Oh, you have one? Oh, and what do you say in Spanish? Also a pot or a kettle? Yes? Ah. Okay, so it's the same, also of in the fire. So that proves that it's, you know, people recognize the pattern. Well, we blame the others, but you do it, you know, somehow you're doing it yourself. And we have one other one. You see the splinter, a little piece of wood in the eye of the other, but not the beam, the big piece of wood within yourself. You know, so you're focused on the other. So it's old pattern recognition and how to change it. Can I have the next one, please? Is, already Jung. He was living at the same period as Freud, and he was the one of the unconscious, whatever. And he says, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Well, I only found this saying after I studied myself. And I think this very focusing on, this is it, and then when am I doing the same, is very helpful to have this happen. Because if you just talk about it, it's like, okay, yes, I can walk in the shoes of somebody else, but you first have to kind of be friends with the part of you that does it.
There's an excellent metaphor. Is metaphor?
Metaphor?
Metaphor, yes. That it says that when you do this to one person, that you're pointing when one finger. Actually, what you are doing is that you are pointing three
fingers to
you.
yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, so if you put one finger, you put 3 fingers to yourself. Yeah. So look at those 3 fingers and listen what they are saying instead of this one. It's a nice, and then I think, because by solving those those imbalances, once I'm clear about that, I can a lot better give feedback to other people. I can reflect what they are doing a lot better. So we become like, can I have the next one, please? We become like diamonds, because diamonds, when do they start to shine? Only after scratching, then the surface becomes shining. If you see them raw, this is not a diamond, because I couldn't find a big picture like that of a diamond, if one of you can find it. But I think the other thing is, what was said, when I'm irritated, I get closed in and cold. After you've done that, you can open again and blossom. So I thought starting with flowers and ending with flowers would be a nice one too. So I hope you all blossom from irritations when you take time for yourself. Thank you for your attention.
Another round of applause for an egg. All the way, like 15, 16 hours flying all the way to get here. Oh, thank you very much, Anek. So I'm going to grab this opportunity to give Anek, with our greatest love and pride and honor to have you here. Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with you and for being there all the time and for supporting Jab to come all the way here. And we know that Mindsonar is much more than Jab and Jan Derek and all the community there, but it's also the family that's always supporting. And I will share something that's the other day we had a Skype conversation, and I was talking to Jab, and usually an egg walks by and says, hey, say hi to Jamie, how are you doing? And then she comes from behind and hugs Jab. And I took a print screen of that, and I told him, I'm going to take a picture of this moment, because it's beautiful, right? He's doing what he loves. He's talking with business partners in the other side of the world, probably over time during the night, because that's when it's midnight, the time difference. And still, the wife comes and supports him, and that's something that I'm sure that it is replicated within the Mindsonar community. We are much more than professionals. We have families, and we also become a family, and we continue to share. And you're a great example of that. Thank you very much, Anek.
Thank you.
And we have
it's
to
very
have
hard
you here.
kissing.
Yes, microphone kisses, right? Thank you.
Okay.
Mexican hug.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's good.
Okay, thank you.